Hello. Hello guys. Welcome. This is your host ComeGetSome. Tonight I have the pleasure to cast this ESOC group stage game between these two legends, our very own Ezad and Tabin. So this is going to be a best of 5 in the group stage of the ESOC Legacy Tournament. So as the name suggests, it's going to be all the old legacy civs. So you have the classic vanilla civs, you have the Asian Dynasties civs, and you have the War Chief civilizations. I think each one of us here is privy with the players, and these guys need no introductions. Izad, though, famous for his drag boxing, non-control group micro, and his large Sif pool, and Tabin, known for being jacked, and his dangerous China and his good macro. So we are in for a delight. So I think the players have already started the game, and we should be able to start with game 1 very soon. So actually the matchup is Izad's China versus Tabin's French. So I'm just waiting for the game to pop up in the queue and we can start. Please let me know if there is any issue with the mic volume, the game volume, music volume or anything. Still a bit new to the casting scene, but thank you ESOC and thank you Gwix for the opportunity. So hyped to cast this game between these two players. So looks like we have got Tabin's French versus Izad's China. So we have Tabin in the color blue starting in the north of the map as French, immediately sending his hero and scout out. I think the hero will go for the trading post. So we have the Fertile Crescent map. I think it seems like both players are going for the early trading post. Old China meta did used to be start with the two villages and then send in the villager shipment. But now I think players have started to like prefer the trading post start and then uh, send the T export cards, is it? Which gives you the consulate wagon and export triple. But we'll see what Izaz decided to do. He is not unfamiliar to the DE meta. I think he had been on top of the ladder or at least top 5 for a long time. And we have Tabin. No house by Tabin. But he does have the 70 wood. So will he chop an extra 30 wood to get the 100 wood house? Or will he go for some 12-10 fast age to play? We'll see, we'll see. Let's have a quick look at their decks. Tabin with the standard land deck. He has all the basic cards in H2, H3. One thing to note is he does have some of these mercenary shipments, which you do not often see in a French deck. No H4 cards here, so standard H2, H3 deck by him. And what is Ezad? Yes, Ezad is going for the T exports card. So this will give him a consulate wagon and 100 export, which he can use to getting a snare on his hero. You have to know this Kung Fu Ezad, cheeky name there. Kung Fu Ezad is a Shaolin master and has much more hand attack and HP compared to a European hero. And also he starts with the Disciple being China. Let's have a quick look at the treasures there. So Tabin got 70 wood, Ezad got 100 food, Tabin got 20 coin. Good thing about China is, given the Disciple, you do have the option to get the treasures quicker. So Ezad here aligning with the Russian consulate actually. I've seen Minimolt and other players actually go for the French consulate rather and send crates, but here Izad opting to go for the Russian consulate, which will give him a blockhouse wagon in H2, pretty strong. And what have we here? Advanced Wonders. Love to see this. Already deviating from the standard meta. So Tabin actually elected to go for a 13 will age up. Pretty standard aging up with the Quartermaster. Will we see a FB from French though? That is the question. I think if he scouts for the China FF, we could potentially see Tabin, going for an FB here. But we'll see. So does send at least one villager forward. What about Izad? So let's have a look at this card. So it increases the Wonder hit points. Wonder are basically the way to age for the Asian civilizations, and they reduce the build time. So yeah, I think does save him a bit of village time, a villager seconds on building this Wonder, and he will go faster in H2. And he's actually putting wills on wood. So it does suggest to me that Izad could go for an H2 play rather than a naked FF, which China is notorious for. Let's see. Now Izad is going to try to scout what French is doing. He sees Tabin's clicks up very fast around at the 410 mark. So there could be a fast timing push from Tabin. Tabin microing for this treasure, but we have a treasure contention here. Does see him with the scout and decides to go back. Does pop the forward tracks here. His macro is looking good. Looks like standard musketeer start. Maybe adding the stable later. Electing to go for the 4 wills first. Following with the 700 wood. Pretty standard build order for now. Izad has still not scouted the tracks, mind you. He has sent the blockhouse wagon, but he has not built it yet. So placing it defensively, he knows, that Tabin did age up a bit faster, so there could be a potential H2 pressure from him. So Lex should decide to drop the blockhouse wagon safe in his base. And the first card will be 700 wood in H2. Interesting. So yeah, Tabin queuing musks already, herding this hunt in. Could we see potentially a second trading post from French and even researching stagecoach with the 700 wood, or will it be just for infrastructure, probably a second military production building and potentially even some bows? We'll have to see. Tabin even remembering to pick up this 60 coin treasure. So let's focus on the game for now. He's at queuing the Mongolian army. So that's 2 Keshik and 2 Steppe Riders. So basically these are just, cheap cavalry units. So you get 2 hand cavalry units and 2 cav archer type of units. This is actually pretty cheap composition. These units are pretty cost effective. And he does have the card to upgrade them in H2. But this is not what he needs versus the musketeers. I think Izad will be on top of his micro slot. Don't expect him to lose any wills here. He's intelligent, snaring with his cav and disciples and popping one batch of movement. He'll repel this must push and shipping 8 bow behind this. Looks like a better trade for Tabin. For Izad here. Even using the Transcendence ability to heal his monk mid-fight. Yeah, I think this was a very cost-effective trade for Izad. He'll be happy with that. Yeah, continuing to queue this Mongolian army and sending 8 bow behind. What's Tabin up to now? So Tabin did add the stable in base, followed up with the 700 coin to continue to mask us. He wants to play it down in H2. And falling with the 3 Hus. So it's a sort of an all-in build in H2. No semi-FF yet. So Izad sees the second push now. Remember, he's fighting under TC fire, blockhouse fire, And he has the Chinese. And the sentry minutemen, all the pikemen minutemen popping directly on the cow. Good positioning by Izad here. And using the Chukuno to kill the musketeers. Yeah, I think Tabin lost a bit too much cav right there. And Izad following this up with the 7 steppy riders. What is the passive bonus of Russia Consulate though? I think you get cheaper banner armies. So these guys are even. China already has cost-effective units, sort of like, we see the monk doing some healing action there and giving defense. So is that losing one villager there? A little bit sloppy. But Bruce come back in. Ooh, nice double kill here. Nice drag box micro to put the cav on the cav. Chukuno on the musk. And flanking from behind. This fight is gonna go so well for Izad. Tabin trying to put his musk in melee to do damage versus the steppy riders, but this is not looking good for him. And the monk with 700 HP so much damage. DC Fire doing its wonders, but yep. And Izad holds this push as well. So what are the reinforcing batches from Tabin? Another 5 must coming in. Cavalry in queue, but he needs to pull this back. Surely he can't, yeah, and he does pull it back. Remember that these bows do have more speed than musks, and they outrange these musks, so he could catch them. But Izad is wary of any cavalry reinforcement and decides to go back, queuing more of these Mongolian army, and sending in a batch of 9 pikes from the home city. So this army does cost food and coin instead of food and wood for the bow pike army. Interesting. Yeah, quite a different build from. Oh, so we have another fight here. Using the hero to snare, but yeah, he has to go back, sees the China mass and likes to go back. So let's have a quick look at the eco. 28 wolves and a trading post for French. Remember, these are CDBs, so they gather a bit faster. So it's more like, a 34 will or 33 will economy. Versus if we look at Izad, it's a 31 will economy. What market upgrades does he have? He does have the tier 2 food upgrade, tier 1 coin and tier 1 all upgrade. So French is slightly ahead in economy, but we have to remember the passive bonus from the consulate and the wonder. You can always use this wonder to heal his units mid-fight. So I think it's still an even game. Izad leading in the military population for now, I think. So that's the China mass. Ooh, nice juicy batch of hussars there. And sending cav HP. So yeah, Tabin's committing to H2 here. No 600 coin shipment and trying to go H. Ooh, we have a fight here. So many Chinese units, it's so hard to micro versus this. You have pikes, you have disciples, you have cav archers, you have steppy riders. It's just the Chinese death ball, but in H2, so hard to micro versus this. But Tabin doing a good job trying to split his infantry, trying to target the masks, target the Chinese pike. These low HP minutemen, 1 HP minutemen still doing so much damage. It was actually a good trade for Tabin. Remember that the French units are much stronger pop for pop. But now Tabin taking the trade under the blockhouse, which might not go so well for him. What about the reinforcing batches though? So Izad not also queuing the standard army now instead of the Mongolian army. Ooh, Ratan Shield pop could be pretty nice here. What about Tabin? Tabin is fully committed to Muskhas. Score pretty neck and neck. Slight lead for Tabin. He has a slight eco lead and does have at least one card on his army. While Izad's army is still, unupgraded. Losing the villager here, he needs to get this hunt in. This is a bit of a low resources now, so you do need to push out here. So I think Izal will try to do something with the next patch and the Rat and Shield shipment. This will be a big power spike for him. These are basically like, coyote runners. They're basically sort of weak hand cavalry, but they path really well. So we'll have to see. I think they're at least better than these steppe riders for sure. Yeah, yeah, more base hand damage and HP than the steppe riders. Less multipliers though, but yeah, they'll do better versus Huss and Musk in general. So I think we'll have another big fight. Tabin witness macro here, but let's focus on the fight for now. Tabin now sees the Rat and Shields actually. He's at also constantly patching units. He knows he needs military army to push Tabin back and get back on the map. Dropping another War Academy here because he has the eco to make more than one batch now. Nice kiting there with the Chukunus. Taking good trade versus these musketeers. Such a close game, and very rarely do we get to see a prolonged H2 fight between these two civs. Pretty interesting way to play the matchup, I would say. I think one thing that could change the dynamic here is some steppe rider raids. So these guys are actually good at pretty cost effective at raiding for cavalry, and Izad knows even Tabin has to push out on hunts for the map. Like he has scouted this hunt, he could potentially be raiding on these sides. Will we see some raids? I think you can use your Rajan shield in the fight and just try to send maybe 3 or 4 steppe to raid. And finally now even the Chinese army improvement cards coming in. 20% to both steppe riders and Chukunu. That'll be pretty nice. But I think Izad lacks good anti-cav. His only anti-cav is these 6 Ragtag Keshiks. And these guys are not very strong. And remember, these Hussar have cav HP on them. Yeah, so Izad sees that and opting to go back. We have to remember though, Izad does have the Transcendence ability, which he can use to heal his units mid-fight, as name that as my answer. But here's the big fight. Tabin putting some of his musketeers in melee, diving with the Hussars, doing good tanking here. Pike's not where they want to be, but you can get a good critical mass. But this anti-cavalry, I don't think it will be enough. Using the Transcendence now. This seems like a good trade for Tabin. He just has the counter composition. Musk has sort of beats Go Cav. You need way more anti-cav than this, as China here. Okay, and Izad calls it. Well played by Tabin. Well played. Actually, well played by both players. We got to see an exciting 16-minute prolonged H2 battle between these two civs. Let's have a quick look at the post game. Villager count, I think a couple of villagers lost during the fights, but nothing major. Military unit pop, yeah. I think this is the real thing. So Izad did get a pretty good fight here, but if you have equal military population, French units are just more population effective than Chinese units. So yeah, I think, and towards the end also, Tabin just had way more stuff than Izad, and slightly better unit composition with having so much Hussar versus China, and Izad just didn't have great anti-cav here. But I do feel that Izad could have used his 400 export. Maybe he could have allied with the Brit and get some red coats and get that passive 10% bonus in. But nonetheless, it was an interesting play from Izad. Got to see an advanced wonder shipment in a tournament game. Yeah, GG though. I'll quickly update the score and please let me know. So I have some feedback on the stream. I'll quickly adjust the sound and raise my mic volume. I'm lowering the game music volume and I'll increase my mic volume also. Sorry for this, guys. Sorry for this. I hope it does sound better now. I'll even put the mic closer to my mouth. And we'll have to update the score. Oh, okay, so, okay, gotcha. I think this should be better now. So yeah, let's dive right into the second game. Let me just quickly see have these guys started in the scheduling thread. So yeah, they just started a minute ago. Thanks for all the feedback in Discord, guys. I have lowered the game sound and increased my mic volume. Hopefully, it should be way better now. We learn, we improve, we adapt, overcome, improvise. That's the mantra, isn't it? So yeah, let's give it a couple of minutes to load this game. So meanwhile, maybe we can have a quick look at the chat comments. So what were your thoughts on the first game, guys? Kaister saying too much AO4 has made ESAT soft. Prolonged H2 versus French is unwinnable with China. Interesting, Loki. I think if China gets a good mass, because I've seen, some uh, strong H2 play from Maito in the past, uh, even in fact with the Russia consulate, I think it can work. You can overwhelm the French army with your mass, and it should work. Okay, I love the comments. Yeah, please roast me. Tough matchup for China. Actually, Shaman, I think when I played both Turk and Tabon on the ladder, I got annihilated versus the China FF. So I think, but yeah, I think it's a close matchup. I definitely don't think one Civ is more favored than the other. Oh yeah, and talking about the very, very important pinned comment by Gigs, actually, I missed that. So Izad banned Tabin's China. We know Tabin's famous for his Jack China play, and Tabin banned Izad's India. Interesting. Oh, I still need to increase my volume. Uh, just a second, guys. I'll try to increase it even more then. I hope your ears are safe. Hello, hello. Any better now? Any better now? I hope I hope this is fine. I think any louder and I might blow your ears off. I'll try speaking a bit louder then. It's actually 2 a.m. here and I don't want to wake my family up. But yeah, it's okay. So game number two, we are ready. So it's going to be a Sagwine. Tabins India versus ESAT Sports. Interesting. Oh, so it's the Sagwine summer spawn. So interesting. We could even see some, Portuguese or even India's water play potentially here. So my question now is, how will they start age one? Will either player go for a trading post? I know that trading post start with India is not very common, but I think it can work with versus a greedy sub like Portuguese for sure. Oh, Tabin getting a quick Nootka club man at into 40 seconds into the game. That's pretty nice. And what is Izat going to? Oh, but will this treasure get scouted? Just in time, Izat saves this trapped native scout from the trees, and he joins the red team. So Izat actually going for a house, not going for the notorious 10 by 10 build that is going on the ladder these days, and not even going for a market or a trading post with the 200 would start. So interesting. I mean, I think Izad is actually a very diverse player. So we are already seeing some uh, deviations from him in both these games till now. Tabin also playing it pretty standard till now. Just added a house and now chopping for villagers. Indian villagers 2 cost wood. Got that nice Nutka clubman. Now the 70 food treasure. Izad doing a good job, sort of kiting and shooting down the Nootka clubman, which can be very annoying. Potentially, that Nootka clubman could, even deny the Portuguese age up TC wagon or cause some issues. Oh, I love to see it. Already ease out of the schooner's cart. So we are going to see some summer Sagwine fishing shenanigans here. Reminds me of all those, Kinesi games 4 or 5 years ago, and Portuguese was considered one of the top civilizations, especially on summer Saguenay, because of schooners. But since then, schooners has been nerfed quite a lot, so we'll talk about that as well. So Ezad trying to go for this 130 XP treasure, which would be pretty nice. But Tabin has actually scouted it. If he's paying attention, he could actually go for a steal. So what I'm interested to know is what is going to be Tabin's H2 wonder here. Do not, so we do see a forward villager here, so it's probably going to be a forward Agra fort, which is a barracks and a glorified outpost for India. Yep, does give him access to the middle of the map, the trading route also, and I think overall pretty strong wonder for this map. And yeah, Tabin sees this treasure here, but does will uh, Tabin scout the dock? That's the question. I think Tabin should be able to save his Nootka Clubman with some micro, but he's at getting his scout in also. He's at could, crack shot this treasure if he has that ability, and Tabin is actually electing to go back here now. So does Tabin want to drop a trading post here? Yup, drops the trading post with both his heroes. He could potentially versus a greedy Portuguese boom. He could go for a stagecoach boom also. We'll see. But let's have a quick look at Tabin's deck. So not much of a water deck. He does have the two caravels in H2 and a frigate in H3, but no improvement cards. It'll be hard to contest the water, especially versus Portuguese, who has the naval warship combat card. Hmm, interesting. So let's have a look at Ezad. Ezad going for the defensive town center near his own first town center, not actually dropping the town center here. Some people like to cover the water and docks with the TC, but he scouted the Agra fort and he knows there could be a potential, sepoy rush coming in. So he wants the two TCs to, defend his villagers, actually rather, which is a fair call, which is a fair call. So Tabin is electing to go for the 700 wood first, not going too greedy, not going for the large wood trickle, or not even going all in with the rush with like, but oh, we have a treasure contention which I almost miss, and Izad gets it. Izad getting 135 EXP, pretty juicy. So what's his shipment? Izad going full greed, schooners into 700 wood into fish market. We need an IP check. Is this Kinesi? Is this Kinesi? Nah, if this were Kinesi, there already would be, a third dock on this island and a fourth dock on this island. But as I say that, he drops the third dock on the island. So yeah, pretty good by Izad there. So Tabin playing it slow. He hasn't scouted the water, but I think he should have a sense uh, what Izad is doing, judging by the deck. Who Izad escapes with this low HP hero. I think Tabin's game plan is to kill this trading post, follow it up with the greedy wood trickle, which is equivalent to 5 villagers. I think getting all the good market decks also. Okay, just starting with the market decks, and he'll go with the stagecoach. He's like gentleman's agreement. You can have the water, and I'll have the trade route instead, and land map control. How many fishing boats does Izad have is the question now. 17 fishing boats already, and he's pumping villages from 2 TCs. Now falling with the 700 coin to go to H3. One thing to know, this map does have the, yes, I was about to say, Tavern just reads my mind, that this map does have the Cree settlement, and you can train up to 5 Cree Coureur de Bois to, bolster your eco, which are like 6 villages. Oh, Tavern going for a Sepoy raid. Ooh, good micro buys are not losing any villagers till now. Will he get any damage done? But idling 20 villagers. So that's and delaying the crate gather. So this is actually a good raid. The madman has 20 fishing boats now before 8 minutes, but he doesn't even have kill nets yet. Hmm. He's at uh, Keister, Don Arty, Kinesi, and even Revnak are all looking at you in disappointment. You gotta get your kill nets in. But yeah, handled the Sepoy raid pretty well, did not lose any villagers. Now aging up fast with the exiled prince. What's Tabin's follow up here? Did tech the stagecoach. Uh, is getting the Cree Coureur de Bois, aging with the Charminar Gate. So let's quickly compare the ecos. You have 29 villages from India, 2 trickles which are like 7.5 wills, that's 36 wills, and around 10-12 villagers from the trading post, so that's like 48 wills with decent market techs. So that's like 48. We were at yeah, we were at like 48 wills versus Izad's 50 wills. But you got to remember he did send the rendering plant. So yeah, and he has 3 town centers with the potential to outscale India even more. But India's not that far behind in eco and following it up with in H3. But okay, so here's the consulate. He's allying with the Ottomans now. Uh, could even send the 4 villagers from the consulate to further boost his eco, which is exactly what he's doing. I think Tab and I are on the same wavelength right now. So yeah, I think the economies are pretty similar. It'll just come down to the H3 unit composition. He might even start with the 2 siege elephants to try to, siege down the Portuguese infrastructure. Oh, actually goes up with the frigate first. And what is Izad up to? Izad started with the 1k wood to get his infrastructure down. Even he's getting the Cree settlement right now. The first land batch being trained, 5 has at 10 minutes. This is like a gentleman, no rush 8 game or something. But yeah, catching the monk is huge though. The Indian monks, they are beasts. They tank 600 HP. They can stomp your army. So yeah, getting a nice pick there. But the frigate, will the frigate do? How much damage will the frigate do? Does kill a couple of boats and will idle some more boats. It's yeah, and uh, Izard has to quickly react. He had to cancel his Cassador shipment. I think he was sending for frigates, idling all these like 12 boats here. So this frigate might just pay off. We'll have to wait and see. What about Tabin though? Tabin double production of Gurkhas, which are Indian skirmishers, and even getting the Mansabdar units, which which have an aura and boosts all same nearby units by 10%, I believe. So these skirms will be as jacked as Tabin Man soon, with their Mansabdar leader to inspire them. So going for the Skirm Goon composition here, pretty standard. Uh, Tabin is a standard, more of a standard player, Skirm Goon enjoyer. Izad's frigate coming in to, cancel out Tabin's frigate. Ooh, Izad getting a nice raid here also. Killing one villager and he might catch this Mansabdar for free. You gotta remember this guy cost double of a normal skirmisher. So Izad doing some disruption with the raid and forcing the Zamburaks to come back to deal with this raid. Meanwhile, losing the Huron settlement. I think Izad was able to research the fishing tech from there, not too sure. And finally listened to me and got kill nets. Now he's going to Cassador's production. Does need some dragoons though. Any potential um, Mahout pop could be very scary from India. And they also age up with one Mahout. So yeah. Izad actually even uh, made a second frigate. Yeah, I think that's a bit of an over-investment on water. These guys do cost 500,000 resources. That's like one shipment. That's just less resources into army. So we finally have the push from Tabin. So let's compare Cassados versus these disciplined Gurkhas. 150 HP, 19 attack. Cassados do have more melee, sorry, range resist, but I think right now the Gurkha will trade good versus these Cassadors, and especially when once the Mansabdar unit comes in. Where is that glorious Mansabdar? There he is. There he is. And they already have the passive HP bonus from the British consulate and the ability to send this 10% combat card on these Gurkhas. It will be very hard for Portuguese to win a skirm on skirm fight. So Izad actually going for the ooh, nice catcher by Izad. Where are the Zamburaks? Zamburaks were a little back and the husk got onto the Gurkhas and the organ gun pop comes in and will be able to get a good volley on the Gurkhas. Ooh, no target lock, that hurts. I'm pretty sure if the target lock on these organ gun was still active, we would have seen like 5 more Gurkhas dead across the Saguenay forest. But yeah, Scores are, I would say Ezad is leading. He has 83 villagers compared to 47 plus, let's say 10 villagers from the trickles and 12 villagers from here. So around 60, 62 villager eco versus 83 for Ezad. But the water will run out eventually. But yeah, Ezad is in a lead right now. He has enough resources. The madman even going for a mill when he has a whole hunt here and adding a couple of stables here because he lost one of them to the siege elephants and adding an arsenal. Even going from some halberdiers now because he needs anti-cav desperately. Tabin does have the map control now, even macroing more, going for the second town center forward. Now look at those disciplined Gurkha with the Mansabdar and the card. 175 HP and 22 attack. These guys was just like 140 HP a minute ago. And now look at these guys. They will just win Cassados directly. But we have the organ guns. Will the organ guns get a good volley on these Gurkhas? Ooh, 3 goes go down. But yeah, how does Ezad deal with these siege elephants is the question. Because they will slowly but surely chip away at Portuguese infrastructure, even counter the organ guns. So yeah, that's the question for Ezad. Does he have a big calf switch? Or does he have Culverins in queue? Nope, neither of those yet. Uh, has he not taking any Arsenal upgrades just yet? Yeah, this is still anyone's game. I think India has a slight military lead. Ezad has a not slight, but a slightly big economic lead. But villagers don't win you the game. You need to uh, win the big fights and push your opponent. And we do have to remember Tappan has full map control right now. So even though he has less villagers, all these villagers are gathering of natural resources like 1.1 food per second versus let's say Ezad's villagers on just zero point 0.7 food per second on the mills. So Ezad is already at almost 200 pop, now making the natives. Let's look at Tabin is also actually at 200 pop, trying to pop the big 3 Mahout Lancer shipment also. Very, very even game so far. Ooh, the organ console, they get the good volley off. Oh, and he's going in with the big elephant. He has 7 Mahouts. Look at these guys, 1200 HP. Sees elephants getting the shot on the organ guns. Tabin smells blood. Tabin is going in. The monks soaking a lot of damage and stomping. The Gurkhas killing the halberdiers and raccoons. Pulling back the elephants. Oh, but good kiting by Ezad here. And the halves actually connecting on the siege elephants. Yeah, but this will not fare well for Ezad. But what about the reinforcements? With he even sent the advanced Arsenal card to boost his Kerm stats, and now sending in the Cassador attack as well. Interesting. But yeah, these siege elephants have been a menace throughout this game and continue to be. Tavern kind of not making more villagers yet. Okay, now he's re-macroing, re-queuing villagers. But you cannot lose your siege elephants. Ooh, loses one. If Ezad is able to snipe the siege elephant, he could potentially even, make organ guns. Or, after the advanced arsenal card and the gunpowder infantry card, he could, just use his superior eco to, maybe outmass and get decent trades to these Cassadors. But look, they actually have one more attack than the Gurkhas. But I still don't think these are very good trades for Ezad. Triple batching Cacitors. How many wills does he have? He's on 80 wills and 22 fishing boats. But remember, guys, the food on these fishing boats will soon run out, and then he can only have, you have only three whales on this map, I think. Yeah. So Tabin not letting his foot off the gas pedal and continuously pushing in the Portuguese pace, slowly sieging with the siege elephant, and trading well with the Gurkhas, sending the redcoat patches. Ooh, but these frigates are, sort of dwindling down or whittling down these Gurkha and reinforcements. He needs to, re-rally these troops. But more important things going on right here. Fun fact, before D, I remember this Mansabdar guy used to, stand out a bit. Uh, yeah, this guy exactly right here. So, good players like Kaiser used to just one-shot this guy, and then all these Gurkhas would lose the buff of 10% HP and attack, and that used to be very annoying. But now on DE, or I don't know, after some update, these Mansabdar, oh, catching the elephants for free here. The Mansabdar just blends so well with the Gurkha, so it's kind of impossible to, single that guy out and shoot him, which is, even a skin change sort of changes. Just a small cosmetic change could have a big impact on the game, actually. Interesting to know. So Izad going for a Huss switch now. Does have the veteran Hussar, and he had made an arsenal, but I think he has forgotten to make the arsenal techs. That would really help. You already have 200 population. What you need is better units. So the arsenal techs would definitely, especially the cav tech, would definitely come in clutch. Okay, so he does have the dragoon tech, but he does not have the hussar tech yet. But I like that he's mixing in these elite trackers from the native post. Going in with the Huss, but there are a lot of Zamburaks here. Will this Huss switch work? Nicely splitting off the Zamburaks here. Reinforcing batch of disciplined Mahouts. Still feels like a better trade for India here. Ooh, even the juicy Urumi pop here. If these guys catch the Dragoons, they'll just... Yep. But he's at good with his kiting. But all the Cassados have just melted to the better Gurkha units from India. This is looking tough for Isad now. And yeah, he had to delete many of these fishing boats also. And now he's bleeding wills, losing TCs, sending in the constable card, which is Hussar and Halberdier combat basically. But doing a good job catching these reinforcements. What about Tabin? Tabin is just constantly 200 pop, and his decision to actually not go for 99 wills is helping him. He has, like 20 to 30 more military unit pop than his opponent all game, and he has been able to push the issue with that. He's trying to cut off his reinforcements and raiding, but Tabin being on top of his micro and positioning here. 0.85 coin per second, that's actually pretty good though, compared to just 0.55 coin per second on normal villagers. Losing the elephants though. Ooh, he's trying to come with the flank with the hussars, but he has enough Zamburak to repel them. And remember, these guys do have the cav attack. They do 22 times 3.5x versus, so that's around 75 attack per hit on these hussars. That's why I think these hussars will just melt. Yup. So Tabin adding his own Kree trackers, taking a cue from Ezad. But what do we see here? Uh, Ezad taking a big score lead here. Is Ezad's eco finally kicking in? His even though he's taking sort of bad trades before and had lower military unit pop, given his superior eco, his remass has just been a bit better than Tabin. Still a close game. Still a close game. But score can be misleading. But even Tabin is running out of natural resources right now. He is even taking Ezad's third mine. So even Tabin's remass will be a little slow here when he has to make the mill plantation switch or the paddy switch rather for the Asian subs. So yeah, Ezad, who has already done his mill plantation switch, has a bit of a window now. Man, these frigates have killed like 20 units till now. Even sending in the economic theory now, and he has the mill card also. So yeah, the longer the game goes, the better the Portuguese economic lead would be. Tabin does not have any economic cards except besides the wood trickles. So yeah, I think if Tabin wants to win the game, it has to be sooner than later. He's at even adding some defensive outposts. I think he knows with the deck, with his civilization, he will slowly but surely win if he holds long enough. So he's just trying to prolong and, reinforce his defensive position with these outposts here. But again, a good mass from Tabin. Such a back and forth game, such a back and forth game. Ooh, the Organ's getting some good snipes on the Gurkhas. And one fun fact, guys. Uh, okay, no. So these guys do have multiplier versus artillery. For some reason, I thought Zamburaks aren't good versus artillery as some other range cavalry like dragoons. But I think I was wrong. Oof, Tabin has to go back now. This is just too much mass right here. And the organ gun reinforcements. Those 12 boats on the whales are definitely helping him out right now. And again losing Gurkhas from these frigates. Yeah, I think this is looking now dicey for Tabin. Tabin, this guy flexing in front of putting 20 wills and one paddy in front of his opponent's base. Oh man, that might be a little too overconfident. And as I said, Tabin is out of natural resources now, with no coin income. Barely has 600 coin left on this mine, and will lose these 15, 20 villagers here. Can't hold this position at all. And the score gap is widening. Big patch of 5 disciplined Mahouts though. Could this swing the game again? Could this be what he needs to swing? Oh, but a big clutch patch of 10 goon reinforcement from Izad. That will be just be enough to deny this patch. And yeah, that is GG. Even research the frontier outpost improvement. But yeah, a very good game from both players. Complete contrast to the first game. First game we saw a lot of small fights, 20 unit pop versus 25 unit pop, H2 prolonged battle. This game was like a full-on macro game. Let's have a look at the village account. Yep, the double TC boom and the fishing boat boom just sort of out echoing India. But he did have the stagecoach and the trickles and the Ottoman wills potentially. Taban could have even gone much greedier if he wanted to. He started with the 700 wooden sepoys, but he could have even gotten more greedier. But yeah, well played by Izad. I think military unit population. Yeah, see, Taban was ahead so most of the game in military unit population. Even at a lesser eco, he always had the map and the better remas and the bigger shipments of India, the scary H3 shipments. And he even had the better units for a long period of time because of the Charminar Gate and the Mansabdar units. But I think the name of the game was Izad's Superior Eco, and being in his base, so you get your reinforcements faster and a couple of good, defensive organ shots and uh, catching them out, etc. And the frigates shooting at the reinforcements slowly but surely, helped Izad back into the game. And then his just when Taban ran out of natural res, then just Izad was just ahead, and that's how the game played out. But yeah, well played to both. So I'll just quickly update the score. One each in this exciting BO5. But yeah, these games are living up to the hype. We are seeing these top 15, top 10 players battling it out. So I'll just quickly have a look at the chat before diving into the third game. So we have some comments on, Perth being a beat yourself and Crabber, Port Lover trying to defend the OP accusations. Tabin's transition is going to allow Izad to macro properly, so then Izad will snowball this. Yeah, man, has a well said, spot on analysis. We have all the big names in the chat: Robrod, Haza, Angers, King of Osman. All these players are, sort of not only enjoying the cast, hopefully, but also, looking at their future opponents. So yeah, let's dive into game 3 then. What is the next MU? Yeah. So the map is definitely Painted Desert. Let me just quickly have a look at the matchup. Oh, so it's one of my favorite matchups actually. It's going to be Tabin's Russia versus Izad's British. So actually it's a winner picks first. So Izad decided to go for British on this non-TP map, Painted Desert. This map has a lot of hunt and no trading post, at least not the experienced trading post. You have the native trading post. So I think Brit is a smart pick, definitely. Still a pretty strong Civ, I would say. Not an OP Civ, but still a strong Civ even after the nerfs, I would say. A balanced Civ overall. And Tapin decided, the the counter to his Izad's Brit is his Russia. So what is Izad starting with? So he's starting with two manor houses and chopping wood. Interesting. So is he chopping for the third manor house? We'll see. Tabin, on the other hand, just chopped for one house. No, no, not putting any market. So this screams, aggressive rush to me. This seems like an aggressive rush to me. He will save the 100 wood for the blockhouse and just spam strelets and use that 5 Cossack shipment to idle Brits. But yeah, we'll see how this matchup goes. So there are some cows on this map. Yeah, a couple of cows around. Both these civilizations start with just one main hero. You don't have any scout to help you pick up the cows. Ooh, Izad getting a nice 60 wood treasure. and did chop extra wood for the third manor. Let's see if this slows down his age up a bit. It might be a little too greedy versus Russia, I think. But let's see how this will play out. Let's have a quick look at their decks in age 1 when there is not much action. So he has the colonial militia. Pardon me, colonial is, I think, not a politically correct word. So it's the town militia now and the commerce age now instead of colonial. He has the pioneers, he has the 6 6 longbow, all the musketeer and cav upgrades in H2. So pretty standard deck. Uh, I know Callan would be not very proud of this deck. Callan bringing the longbow wall into FI meta back into vogue. Callan was, I think, hoping that that would be the new meta now. Let's have a look at the treasures though. Any big treasures? 50 food for Izad, 60 wood for him. Yeah, Tabin 60 EXP and 35 wood. So slightly better treasure hunting for Izad. But while I say that, Tabin gets the 85 wood. So yeah. Did they get any cows? Russia might have even eaten his cows actually. So let's have a look at his deck. His deck says it out loud. H2. H2 is going to be the name of the game. He has all the crates actually. 13 Stellar, 4 Cossack, 5 Cossack. The the Boyas, which is basically now, you could call it a nerf, but it's basically calf combat now. Earlier it used to boost Strelets also, but now you have this card. I actually like the Russia change. It might be a hot take. You know, now this card actually boosts all Russia infantry in H2. So, the Ruskets, the infamous weak Russian musketeers, are actually, can be quite decent now, I think. So Tabin going, sending 2 villagers in between these two native posts. This is actually a good choke. He could even, decide to wall this choke later. Does go for a market in transition, gets hunting dogs. He knew he had the 85 wood treasure and this treasure. So yeah, a market is pretty good. He's at their 60 mana pop already, aging up with the governor, which is the outpost, and 200 coin. Pretty standard, especially in this matchup. You want a defensive outpost. One thing to note here though on this map, Izad just has 1 coin in his base, and even this coin is, not exactly, it's sort of exposed. So, Tabin could potentially deny some coin gathering. But yeah, this outpost, I like this outpost placement. Maybe a small wall here could also help. So yeah, going with the standard stable start, 70 mana pop, not electing to go for a market though. Starting with the 700 wood. Remember that the 5 villager shipment has been nerfed to 4 villagers, so people mostly go with the 700 wood nowadays. So what is Tabin up to? He aged with the quartermaster 400 wood politician, immediately queued a batch of recruits. I think I'll stick with the Ruskets and sending in the 5 Cossack, which is actually the perfect blind counter to, Izad's stable start. He hasn't scouted British's military building. So, if Brits decides to go for a Rax, you want to start Stellet in this matchup. And if they decide to start at this table, you want to start Musks. But, blindly countering, which is actually paying off for him. But he cannot engage under the tower and TC fire. Batch of 4 has from Izak. It could have been 5, but, he got idled a little bit. So, still pretty good. Following it with the 4 villagers, slightly greedy, but I think he has enough resources under his base and he thinks he can get away with it. Finally, the market coming down. Let's have a quick look at Russia. Russia following it up with 4 Cossacks now. So he wants to pile on the pressure, not going for a 700 word or potentially coin crates to mass, but just wants to flood units. Let's have the ESAT's POV. It's always, I think, nicer to see the defender's POV. So he has the perfect amount of coins for Minutemen. Uh, idle, okay, good micro now. You don't want more than 10 villages to be near TC, otherwise it's inefficient. TC fire does not scale after 10 villagers, so then you'll just be idle for not. Ah, is Iza trying to raid? No, okay, he's pulling the Hussar back. Has a nice batch of 7 Huss, but no coin for Minuteman. Doesn't even have the food for Minuteman now, actually. What about Tabin though? Tabin keeps on batching these musketeers. Let's have a quick look at the market text. While there's no fighting, it does have the steel traps. So good macro by Tabin. Even without the 700 food, sorry, 700 wood, he was able to squeeze in the second blockhouse and the steel traps upgrade. Ooh, does Tabin see the racks? Ooh, he could have denied this racks if he saw this. It's kinda lucky by Izad there. Ooh, but he does find these two wells. So the first uh, first wills to go down from this Russian pressure. But Izad is still on a very healthy 33 villager population compared to just 23 villagers from Russia and the wood trickle. So like he has like a 6 to 7 villagers economic lead on Russia. Let's have a look at his market text. But Izad does not have any market text yet. Oh, Izad. I know Harrison. Harrison, if you're watching this game, you have to remind Izad to get his great codes in, especially versus a rushing civ like Russia. This outpost paying so many dividends. I would like to see Izad raid with maybe 2 or 3 hussars, but yeah, it's a bit tough when you are under all this pressure. You need all the units to defend. So added a batch of 5 longbows actually, and going for the next batch of longbows instead of musketeers. Interesting, interesting. He's not gathering any food though. Still no hunting dogs. Ah, ah, that hurts to watch. You know, British is one of my most played civilizations. Tabin with the smooth macro here, now taking into some strelets. Look at the longbows fire away so fast. They have 1.5 rate of fire. They shoot 2 arrows by the time these strelets are able to load their rifles and get a shot off. But they need to abuse their 22 range. He is at following it up with the 6 musketeer shipment. He went full economy, now sending in the military shipments to try to hold this pressure. Tabin hasn't even scouted this hunt, so he cannot raid there. So we have 2 blockhouses and a stable from Russia. This position is so difficult to break for Brits in H2 without any cannons, potentially. Now let's switch back to Izad's point of view. Finally got this hunt in, but will he be pushed away from this hunt? Where is Izad's cav? He went to raid with all his cav, and Tabin chose that moment to strike. Perfect counterplay by Tabin. I don't think he lost. Okay, he's losing maybe a couple of villagers here, but Izad has there are already 3 dead bodies of red villagers here, and pushing him off hunt. Okay, so lots of action going on here. So Tabin forced to send the Minutemen to defend. What's Izad doing here? Ooh, Izad needs to send his own Minutemen as well. Just cancel this batch of us. Tabin knows he has the mass. He's just going in and attack moving. Don't need to micro when you have 2x the mass. It did pop the Minutemen here, but yeah, just not enough mass here. And the outpost and TC fire does help, but it won't help when you have so many units under a TC. Well played to Tabin. Well played to Tabin. Izad went for a risky raid right there. Wasn't able to do too much damage. Tabin took the perfect opportunity to strike there, and idled British eco, and Izad just didn't have the enough mass to repel Russia with his Huss away raiding. But well played by Tappan though. Well played. So he does think Russia is the counter pick for Brits, and he showed us this game. And he actually outgathered outgathered Brit by quite a bit, despite the villager population lead from ESAT. Yeah. So yeah, Tabin was just ahead in military population all game, and at the end just overwhelmed. Look at this, 60 military pop versus 30 military pop. And remember, like 5 or 7 hours of ESAT were not even in the main fight. Yeah, just well played. Tabin dominating this game, I think. Did he have any of the improvement cards? So he didn't have the Boyers or the New Order regiments, but just yeah, an overwhelming mass. What about ESAT? Nope. Hmm. I think ESAT did really well at the start there, but still doesn't have great codes. Still doesn't have, I think, the all the market techs he needed. Could have, made 1 or 2 manor houses less, but getting those market techs is an essential. You can't make too much longbows in this matchup, I feel. You need to make more musketeers. But yeah, just well played by Tabin. Brit can't afford to make too many mistakes in this matchup. And just Tabin just exploiting that. Okay, let's have a look at the comments then. Izad playstyle is kinda struggling versus the straightforward Tabin stuff. Hmm, that's true, Jerry, that's true. Tabin going for the, straight optimal builds and executing them flawlessly almost. Julian saying if I was Izad, I'd be upset if I found out later I forgot hunting dogs. That's a Julian blunder. Has a saying 700 wood 4 will seems bad versus Russia. I fully agree. I think British has the economic lead for the like first 9 minutes of the game, and you need to convert that into military. Do like a 700 wood, 600 wood, 700 coin build, and get like 2 Rakshas up, or even 700 wood, 700 coin. Get some mass going. The 4 villager shipment just doesn't pay off in this matchup, especially when you have like 10 villagers idled half the game. Risky map to pick Brett. I would disagree, Haz. I think you have like 2 big bisons safe, and it's a non-TP map, so Brett is, I think it's a decent choice. Okay, let's dive into game 4 then. I'll. Okay, so they have started. So I'll just quickly update the score and get into the new game. What are the predictions though? I'm interested to see. Is this the legacy tournament? Yes, these are the group stages of the legacy tournament. ESOC legacy tournament. So it's Tabin 2 to Izard 1. So Tabin on match point here. Let's get straight into game 4, guys. Finally a tournament without the EBS. Yeah, man. Being a Nilla player for so long, I'm also biased towards the legacy sets for sure. Okay. Oh, it's interesting. So Tabin, being the winner, decided to pick his Germany on the Mexico map, and Izad decided to counterpick with the Lakota civilization. Interesting. Hmm. I think Lakota is actually I don't know much about the matchup, but I think Lakota is a good pick on this map because you have the potential to go for these four trading posts and going a mid map warhead and getting the stage coach line will be pretty strong for Lakota. So Lakota starting with the market, don't need no houses, you start with 200 population, getting a nice 60 wood at the start of the game itself. What about Tabin? Tabin scouting the 75 wood treasure, going with the standard market start as the German. Yeah, he'll have to mine some coin to buy the 100 wood for his house. Look at this guy, just he doesn't even ride. I think he glides across the map with almost 8 movement speed, converting the bandit rifleman to join his tribal cause. Haputling Izat. Izad is a man of culture. Uh, every civilization I've seen him play till now, he kind of changes the hero names to match the civilization. So we did have Kung Fu Izad when he was, playing China. Now we have How Putling, I don't know how to pronounce this, Izad. So yeah, interesting. Let's have a quick look at their decks now. So Izad with the three villagers. Hmm. Looks like a pretty standard Lakota deck to me. Has the three big unit shipments. No dog soldiers though. I see a lot of players doing the dog soldier also. Cavalry attack, four healers, medicine, wheels, okay. That might be interesting. Not sure we'll see that. What about Tabin? Let's have a quick look at the treasures. Tabin getting the 75 food, 60 XP, Izad getting the 60 wood and 25 coin, and yeah, and 3 stray sheep. Okay, so Stabin going to do a 16 villager age up, cutting one villager to age up a little faster. Hmm. Not sure how good that is, but it'll help him defend against any potential age 2 rush because he will age like 13-14 seconds faster compared to if he had made an extra villager in age 1. So let's see how that plays out. Uh, so Lakota aging with the chief. I think that's a standard 400 wood crates or some age up, but you'll have to see. Pardon my lack of Lakota knowledge. I think my Lakota home city is still level 1 only. Never played this since. No, I don't think I have even played this on Legacy. So yeah, pardon my knowledge. Looks like he is chopping some wood. Will he drop down a trading post with that? Or a forward war hut? War hut costing, I think 250 wood, is it? I think it's pretty sure it's 250 wood. Yup, like a Russian blockhouse. Ooh, this could be a nice catch. Remember, this guy does 40 damage to the hero. But he has to be careful. Tabin could just crack shot this Guardian. Look at how much damage this guy does in one shot. Man with this big cowboy rifle. Ooh, but Tabin being on top of it and using crack shot, but going to lose his hero and donate 45 EXP to Ezad. Also, one important thing, losing. Oh, but the H2 comes in and gives him 100 extra HP. The hero lives for another minute or so. But the big thing is, Tabin is not able to scout Ezad's forward war hut. And what is Ezad doing? Ezad, yeah, he age up with the 400 wood, sending 4 axe riders and making clubs. So that's like the perfect blind counter to a stable start from Germany because the axe riders will be able to catch or snare the Ulans, and the war clubs are the perfect counter to the Ulans. and they'll be able to potentially siege a house or a stable. So yeah, at least the start looks good for Izad, but let's see what he can make happen with that. So we are trying to catch uh, these H2 shipment Ulans with his axe riders. I think Tabin did see that and will has to pull back. So war club's going on. Ah, you have to remember this aura from the Lakota hero does boost their speed. Now he has to pull back. He's trying to micro away. But Tabin only got a batch of 4 Yulan. That's not enough versus 4 Axe Rider and that hero. And now going for the 700 coin. Hmm. I think that's because he hasn't scouted the war hut. But he must know, given these clubs are here. I don't think you can semi-FF versus this push in H2. So Tabin now finally scouting the forward brace from Lakota. But Izad being on top of his game, using these 4 Axe Riders to get the raids. The clubs have already killed the trading post, using his hero to make another trading post and sending 700 wood behind it to add more trading post or a mass. Will we see a flank here on this Yulans with these war clubs, this hero, and these axe riders? That would be a beautiful catch. Let's see if Izad can manage to pull it off. Gets the snare. Oh, he just misses the snare. Okay, but will this guy get? Ooh, so Tabin just decides to engage her. Yeah, this is not a good trade for Tabin. Losing all those Ulans for barely one axe rider. So this is like the dream start for Izad, I would have to say. Does have a little too many resources in his stockpile. Needs to spend those resources and do some damage. Tabin behind this is trying to age up, and the age up will soon be in queue. This is just not enough units to punish his age up just yet, but we'll have to wait for the reinforcing batch from Izad. So Izad going with the second trading post, potentially stagecoach, adding a stable in behind, sieging down Germany's stable, and potentially following up with an age up of his own. I don't think he'll stick it out in H2. Oh, he was forced to delete the corral or the Lakota stable because of this raid. So we'll have probably the first villager going down to the raid in this game. Oh, I missed the Minuteman pop. So does lose one villager. Uh, Loses the stable but kills a few clubs. Let's see what the first shipment is. He needs some infrastructure down pat. Does scout the stable going in Izad's base. Starting with the 1k wood. Oh man, that's so greedy. Imagine if Izad was staying in H2 and had like 10 more units in his base. Tabin already sent his Minutemen. He does not have a stable or a racks, and this first shipment is 1k wood. I have to say this is very ballsy from Tabin, especially in a tournament game where one might think you should not take too much of a risk. But I think Tabin is feeling confident. He's on ahead 2-1 in this best of 5 series. He is on match point. That might be it. He's at playing it safe. Actually, electing to mass in H2 only, not going for H3. Interesting. Being very active with his axe riders, catching any Yulan raids. Uh, the stagecoach is in soon. He'll get a batch of. Okay, not queuing any cavalry yet. Deciding to make Chatan bows, club warriors, and axe riders. That's going to be his unit composition. Let's have a quick look at Tabin. What will he decide to? How will he decide to spend his 1k wood? Is my question. Does he want to steal this fourth trading post? I don't think that's going to work. Yup. Immediately goes back. Look at Izan splitting just one cap to kill this hero. Izan showing off his APM. So let's have a quick look at the economies. 26 villagers and 4 TPs. So that's like 14 to 15 villagers. So he's on 40 villager population economy. Has the market, has the hunting dogs. Let's compare that to Tabin's 23 villagers and including 8 settler wagons. So Tabin is on like 31 villagers. So Izad has like a 6 to 7 villager economy lead, and he's ahead in age 3, and he'll have the and he has gotten away with the 1k wood. You have to remember, now he'll be piling on the big Germany shipments, 8 skirms, 9 Ulans, 3 war wagons. Mm. So yeah, I think this is still a close game, but Tabin is just slightly ahead right now, unless Izad can get a good trade with his units. He does have the military mass advantage, but I don't understand why he's not pushing right now. He's not aging, he's not pushing. Uh, why is he letting Germany mass in H3 and getting away with the 1k vote is what I would want to ask Izad after the game. But he's a better player than I, so we'll have to ask him only, or if someone in chat can give me their perspective, because I don't even think Lakota has good H2 cards to boost their units. Skirms, the Lautri, the Chitan Bowmen, clubs are just not a very good unit in general. Axe Riders are decent cavalry, but again, Yulan and War Wagon will stomp on them. So taking into some Bow Riders now. So he has a solid 4 unit composition. Oh, nice, nice one Yulan raid by Tabin here. Being annoying. Maybe force the Bow Riders back. And do we have a big push here? So what's Tabin's unit composition here? Few skirmishers, war wagons, Yulans, solid 3 unit composition. So Tabin also knows he's on a timer, because you can't let the opponent just freely boom with 4 trading posts. So you have to at least kill a couple of trading posts and take them for your own. He knows the opponent has invested 400 resources into stagecoach and a lot of wood into the trading posts. So he has to make something happen with his big Germany shipments and his tech advantage in H3. Tabin actually even going for the cav combat, still being annoying with the one cavalry raid. Yeah, Tabin. And he knows he forced the bow riders back, so now he can try to push. Let's see the Chatan bowmen do fire very fast like long bowmen. Very hard to call this fight. He does have a lot of war wagon to repel any axe riders, and skirmishers will outrange these Chetan bowmen, and he can kite forever. I don't understand this Mother Nature UI though. Kinda annoying as a caster. But let's focus on the main fight. Carl von Humboldt driving straight in the Sioux army, head first, now lying on the ground, waiting for his fellow allies to, revive him back. Ooh, Yulan's diving in. Is this the fight that Tabin wants? I'm not sure. The TP blocking the Yulan, the Warhead making pathing issues, the Bow Riders DPSing down. The clubs could have popped on top. This is a good fight for Su. Remember this TP, other trading post buffs his units. And they have 4 unit composition clubs in melee, Cav in melee, Bowmen DPSing from back, Bow Riders DPSing from the back. This was a very good fight for Izad. That pathing at the trading post line, this TP and the Warhead. The Yulan just couldn't get a good connection. And now the club warriors going in, clunky war wagons not being able to kite at all. What are the reinforcing batches from Tabin? Tabin has no reinforcements and he's just ran out of coin. He cannot push out on the map because he lost this big fight. Izad is ahead in eco now. He's ahead in military population. Looking tough for Tabin now. Izad turning the game around just like that. in that big swing of a fight. And remember, he has the 4 trading posts working for him, and now sending the 600 coin, and he has the Great Hunter in. So yeah, his eco is pretty good. His eco is pretty solid, and that is reflected in the score. I'm actually, oh, he's had going for a nice raid now, but Tabin putting up an outpost and has his cavalry here. Oh, this will be kind of a good catch for Tabin, but not enough skirmishers, even against, while they're the counter to the bow riders, but just not enough mass yet. Does catch the axe riders, but loses his skirmishers. Where is the reinforcing batch of Skirm? The reinforcing batch of Skirm rallied to the war hut, maybe to save Karl. Not sure. That seems like a mistake. Taman has to kite for his life versus all these melee units. Izad does his damage and pulls back. Izad must be aging right now. Yes, exactly. Izad aging to the age 3, rather racing to age 3 with the messenger or the fast age up here. Now and he'll want to tech all his units. Remember, guys, Tabin is on match point. Izad cannot afford to make any mistakes if he wants to, survive this game and go into potentially the deciding fifth game of this best of 5 series. Or what a series this is turning out to be. What a series. This might actually be a caster's curse. The last show match I casted for Royal, even that BO7 went all 7 games. So, ESOC sign me up for more casting if you want to see more best of 5 or best of series to go all the way. So yeah, Tabin sees Izard clicking up and he knows he has to make some damage, reclaiming at least one trading post here. Now going for the second, third one. Has a secured map with his outpost and his army now. But some players would say Germany OP even after that big fight and catching so many raids. The score is still pretty much same. German shipments are indeed scary. So Izad knows he doesn't want to take a fight right away. So instead he's going for the counter siege of this trading post. Pretty smart by Izad, I have to say. He's in no hurry. He's waiting for his unit upgrades, making Vakina rifles, which are just skirmisher units, sending in the 5 axe riders, queuing the elite bow riders upgrade. Probably has the elite axe riders as well, and rebuilding that trading post ASAP. And has the elite axe rider. And is he going for a raid? Interesting. He's opting to sacrifice this war hut, waiting for 5 elite axe riders to come in and going for a counter raid, forcing this all Tabin's army back. He's out with this famous drag box micro. Ooh, now we have the big engagement. 5 axe riders popping from the war hut, and he's just going in. Tabin is doing a nice job of kiting and using his hero to sort of melee the units and snare. Some nice micro by Tabin there actually. He has to kite for his life, he has to focus the clubs with his skirmishers and use the war wagons on the axe riders. Izad's skirms finally caught up and are now shooting at the war wagons. Bow riders shooting. Oh, big Yulan reinforcing bash from Tabin though. Does he have enough anti-cav? Just 9 bow riders on the field. Will it be enough? Skirmishers forcing the focusing down the bow riders, war wagons focusing down the bow riders. But the Yulan went down so fast. And now he has the skirm advantage, he has the economic advantage. And even has the attack dance, boosting all units attack by 8%. Yeah, this might be the GG. This might be GG right here. Does Tabin have any reinforcing units? Has 5 Ulans, but I don't think that will be enough. And he's out of all the big, military cards, sending forced to send 1k coin now. And now he'll be, moved off the uh, forced off the natural resources, so that will be tough. Trying to hold on using his villagers, using hero, using the reinforcing badge. An okay trade for Tabin, but will it be enough to pull him back in the game? What is Izad's rematch move looking like? You can never count Germany out. One big reinforcing batch or shipment and they just get back into the game. But a good 5 Axe-Rider pop from Izad here will be enough to deter this. Another 3 Yula, another Scum batch, 1k coin on the field. Tabin could go for a big mercenary shipment. Let's have a look at the ecos again. 38 villagers plus 6, 44 villager pop for Tabin here. 47 for Ezad along with 3 trading posts to 1. So again Ezad is in a economic lead, does have safe resources here. Score still neck and neck. Wow, what a game this is turning out to be. Despite I think Ezad, sort of counter counter building at the start and taking a good fight. That's just the power of Germany. And but we have to give it to Tabin. He microed pretty well in the big fight here. Even training some doppel swordners and taking veteran doppel swordners. I'm not sure about that. Instead of maybe spending 400 resources on taking veteran doppel swordners and making 5, just send Black Riders, man. Just send Black Riders. Much easier to kite than war wagons. A much stronger shipment. Uh, I think we'll have to speak to Tabin after this game. Perhaps he wants the siege. Perhaps he wants the ability of Doppel Swordness to sort of body block the army. But but only he knows what he wants. So what about Ezad? Ezad going for the rifle rider shipment. Losing axe riders for free, sort of. Lost like 3 cap for free right there. Wanted to rebuild this war hut, but yeah, going to lose both his war huts. Has Tappan turned this game around? He has killed the trading post. He is getting this 4 trading posts. He has resources back on the map. Tappan does have Cav combat and Cav HP, so these war wagons and Yulans are pretty scary. Is raiding on the east of the map. What an intense game! What an intense game! Is this the big fight? The heroes at full HP. Doppelsworders dying to the Vakina riflemen. Axe riders diving right, and rifle riders will clean up the Ulans. 1300 HP. Hardpoint is coming for those skirmishers. Vakina on the war wagon. And yeah, I think this is gonna be clean up in favor of our Lakota player here. Another reinforcing batch of war wagons. Ooh, but a nice raid from Tabin here. If he manages to remass. Yeah, I think Izar lost like 6 villagers during that big fight. Still a game, guys. Still a game. Wow, these guys are putting on a show for us. Nothing less expected from these two guys. And even more raids from Tabin. Tabin has been on top of the raids. Oh, but Tabin running out of coin now. He only has this mine left, which Izad has scouted. So loses another will, now has to pull back. I would honestly just market trade all my food and send. That's exactly what Tabin is doing. Tabin and I are syncing up again. And sending the. Wait, what? He's sending the 7 Bosniaks. Wow. I was pretty sure he would send the Jaegers. But he's a right click Cav enjoyer, Tabin. I thought Tabin was a Skirm Goon enjoyer, but I was wrong. He wants to go in for the kill with the Bosniaks. Very strong cavalry. So what is Izad actually doing? Izad sticking to the Axe Rider and Ohina combo. So actually Bosniaks could be a big game changer for him in his unit composition. He does not have any anti-cav. This alone low HP elite rifle rider is all the anti-cav he has right now. So Tabin trying to take the right side of the map. He wants this mine. He wants this hunt. Ooh, a raid coming in from counter raid coming in from Izad there, but Tabit noticing on time. So he's going for his own raid, trying to get this map back, losing one build, one settler wagon. Somehow saves this villager, just barely. That could have been big. So 550 HP on these Bosniaks. Oh man, how many wills did Izad lose here? He lost like 7 villagers, I think. And now Tabin is back on this gold mine now. Lakota going. Oh, but he finds these villagers. He finds these villagers. Pulling these units back. Oh man, what a back and forth game. And even these villagers. So Tabin on 40 villagers, but not gathering anything except wood. The Bosniaks. Look at those lance. Look at them swinging their lances, trying to go for the kill. Only coin income that Tabin has right now is from his trading post. But Tabin also counter raiding. 38 villages for Izad, 28 plus some settler wagons for Tabin here. So Izad still slightly ahead here. Yeah, actually has a 10 villager lead despite losing all these villagers. Hmm. What do you do in Tabin's position? I think, but Tabin does have an economic lead. Uh, Izad now patching war clubs, elite war clubs, because he knows he needs the anti-cav. Yeah, but he'll lose again these 8 villagers, and then the economies will right will be neck and neck again. What an intense game! What an intense game! Every time one takes the lead, other comes with a counterplay with a raid or a big unit shipment and just wins the game. Oh man, what an intense game! It has been such a pleasure casting this game. So Tabin is now securing this coin mine. I think he wants to mine the coin to get another big mercenary shipment. But here's the big fight, probably. Does have a decent number of clubs now for anti-cav Izad. Needs to switch to the warrior attack dance, which he does. Ooh, clubs not connecting. And remember, these Bosniaks are pretty strong. Ooh, has the nice dog soldiers here. This is such an intense fight. War Wagon is trying to micro-assist the cav, but the club is doing so much damage. 16 times 4 in melee versus the cavalry, and those dog soldiers tanking so much damage. And the war elite Okina rifles just killing the war wagons. That was actually well played by Izad. He knew his composition lacked anti-cav. He used the wood to make the club warriors and rounded out his composition, popped the big three dog soldiers, and just took the big fight. What a game, man! What a game! GG. And we'll go into the deciding fifth game. This series is, exceeding my expectations actually. While I had high hopes from both these players, still managing to exceed my expectations. Yeah, Izad was ahead in resources all game. Uh, this is where I think his trading post eco started to play in, especially with the Great Hunter card. But all the raids back and forth. I have to see the villager graph here. Yeah, so many raids and counter raids. Tabin with those 1122 Yulan raids, messing up Izad's micro just a bit. But yeah, at the final fight, I think actually they had both had similar military pop, but I think just slightly better unit composition from Izad, and he wasn't able to, kite well with the war wagon, and the clubs just connected and killed all the scaff. I think that's what happens when you're late H3 as Germany. You don't have very effective units to kite versus, melee compositions. Hmm. But this trade though, I mean, how did Tabin manage to come back from this? 80 unit pop each. And remember, these are H2 units from ESAT, all H2 units. This was a big fight at his war hut. 56 units to 13 units. Oh man, how did Tabin come back from this though? I'll have to watch this replay again sometime. And then managed to get a good even trade. And then had a big reinforcing batch, some raids. Yeah, well played by Tabin to make a comeback here. But then ESAT finally took the game. Let's have to watch the comments for this game for sure. Hawk saying not enough skirms in the last fight. I agree. Show us the well graphs. Don't worry, Tim. I am a nerd when it comes to these games. I look at all the graphs. Tabin has the counter pick for the last game. Yeah, Usman, that is actually a very valid point. Uh, Izat has the momentum going into the game 5 with the game 4 win, but Tabin has the counter pick option. Robot asking who took Spain. No one has taken Spain yet. Did Tabin play China already? Unfortunately, Izad banned Tabin's China. It is live. These games are live. Maybe we are just like 7 minutes behind the players maximum. Key was the club warriors there. I agree. Okay, let's dive into the fifth game without any further ado. Why do we need a sip of water before I can cast this game? Not a very experienced caster yet, guys. I don't think my throat can take such intense casting for hours on end. So we do have Izad's Japan versus Tabin Spain. Wait, what? Wait, what? So Izad decided to take Japan on this map, and Tabin having the counter pick taking Spain. Interesting. I do think Spain is a very strong civ, and traditionally it has been the fast footers has been very tough for Japan to deal with. But the meta has evolved a lot. Let's see what Izard can do here. Excuse me. Who snaring one of the Japanese monks with a dog and two with a pet monkey. Izard actually going for the market start and a shrine start instead of a consulate or maybe even two shrines. Tabin on the other hand going for a very standard Spain start. Uh, Actually no. Tabin is not even chopping wood. Will this be like a 12-10 Spain build? Wait, am I missing something? Robot, you have to enlighten us. What is Tabin the Madman doing? Okay, cancels one will in queue, shipping three wills. Okay, so it is a 12-10. So it will be a 12-10. Interesting. Let's see Izad's deck. Okay, so he hasn't chosen a deck yet. So we'll come back to that. Did go for the Age 1 food deck. Hmm. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Marquee Start with Japan because that deck is just 5% on villagers, on food gathering. I'd personally rather have an extra shrine. Let's have a quick look at the treasures. 45 coin, 35 coin. I think no significant treasures. But will Izal lose his monk? No, I think he can just teleport it back for sure. But both of his monks are kinda on low HP now, which is pretty annoying as Japan. Ooh, will he steal the goats? Will he steal the goats? Is Tabin noticing? Managed to steal at least one goat. Well microed by Izad there. And these goats are pretty crucial for Japan because if he can put his goats on the shrines and they'll gather faster. So what is Spain going to do? Looks like a very standard H3 deck. Does have the marvelous year in his deck instead of Spanish gold, which is interesting. I think I've seen Haza and some players, especially in team games, even Keister I think, use this card instead of Spanish gold. Not sure which is better to be very honest. Does marvelous year on 1 TC pay off faster than Spanish gold? I think the answer is no, but I'll leave it to the Spain pros to answer that. Robrot and Haza, let us know in the comment. Which card do you think is better in 1v1 games? Ooh, Duba striking the War Dog there, delivering the death blow. So yeah, let's look at Izad's deck now. Again, pretty standard deck. Feels like more of an H2 deck. I don't think Japan can contest FF Wars versus Spain. Izad trying to go for this 80 food treasure. Aging up with the Tory Gates instead. Interesting, I like that. With the age up bonus, you can actually get that samurai from the age up and deny any potential forward tower from Spain. But Tavern with his 12-10, he was so quick. He already has an outpost building at 4 minutes of the game mid map and perfectly macroed for his FF. So Tabber instead of doing a 15 or 16 will H1 and he skipped the capitalism card and went directly for 3 villagers, 700 coins, 700 wood. Interesting. This is a pretty fast FF. This could be scary for Izad to hold, but we'll have to see. So Izad, the samurai is in base. He knows the outpost is up. He cannot punish that. Making some shrines. Oh, actually sending the 5 shrine wagon card is a new card. Pretty good card actually. Equal to 625 wood, and you do not have to waste, hero or villager time building those shrines. So it's pretty strong card I think, especially with the Torii gates. Because if you age up with the Toshogu shrine or you have the Portuguese consulate, those let your shrines become cheaper. But with the Torii gates, these shrines cost full 125 wood. So the shrine wagon card is pretty good with the Torii gates build. He's not getting even more treasures, queuing masks, sending masks. Let's have a look at Tabin. Tabin following it up with the 5 villagers after 700 wood, making a Rax, aging with the scout. I think a pretty respectable age up time. I think the standard Spain FF H3 time is around 7 minutes, 7 minutes 10 seconds I think when you go for the standard build, but I think he'll be up at around 6:45 or something, which is like uh, pretty fast actually. So the timing could be even harder for Japan to hold. So going with the 15 Ashigaru push, sending another batch of 5 Ashigaru, he wants to get this tower down. So getting that tower down will mean slower A3 shipments from Spain, and potentially even the 2 Falconet or the Scary Lancer shipments not popping from the tower will buy him some time. What is Tabin have in queue? He is electing to save the shipment for H3, which is a fair choice. Queuing in some musketeers to defend versus this. I know Robrot likes to make Rodolellos in transition rather than musketeers, but I think musketeers is the safest and best choice versus this H2 push from Japan. Aging up with the scout actually at 7 minutes only. So this FF was not that fast, to be honest. Like he sacrificed eco for let's say a 10 or 15-second faster FF, which I'm not sure is worth it, but let's see how it goes. This Rax is sort of far away from the TC. He's trying to buy time for the Falcon X to come in. He wants to save this Rax at all costs. What are Izad's reinforcing shipments? Yeah, he's going pure Ashigaru. And remember, these Ashigaru musketeers are stronger than the Spanish musketeers. Even popping a batch of Minutemen to save that barracks. I think that's the wise call from Tabin. Now has the two Falconers to deter any push here. Ah, but he has to go back with his Hussars. And look at that plus 32 kill XP. That's the passive bonus from the Tory Gates Thunder. You get 1.6 XP from basically building or killing anything. Healthy eco from Isad right here, but he adding in a second Rax, not electing to go for a stable. So he's an Ashigaru enjoyer. You could even see Ashigaru attack or even a Daimyo shipment. Okay, but let's focus on the fight. Falconet. But I feel that this might be a little too few units to cover the Falconets. But Tabin does have some reinforcing shipments. Uh, Tabin knows, Japan has a better eco, so he has to make something happen with this uh, Spanish FF push. But I just worry if this is just, too less cover, with the Minutemen pop, he could just, go in and clean up the Falconets potentially. But let's see. Queuing double matches of Musk and sending the Daimyo. The Daimyo will boost his units and provide, a shipment point, a mobile shipment point. So Tabin following up with this push with the 5 Lancer shipment, which is pretty good versus Ashigarus. Oh, he's at popping the Minuteman. Is this go time? Will he put his musketeers in stagger mode? Getting a nice Falk volley. Lancers on Ashigaru, musketeers popping. Yeah, this is good cover by Tabin, honestly. Getting another wall. Ooh, look at those shots. Look at all those low HP Ashigaru. Ooh, this is a good engagement for Tabin for sure. Look at that, 4 Ashigaru musketeers just flying away from one volley. These are, I think, some of the best volleys. But Tab now has to go back. Even TC Fire could, kill these low HP Falconet. He's trying to chase the Falconet. Will he able to get it? Will he be able to get it? Tabin turning around. He knows he can't outrun the 4.5 speed. Getting even another volley on the Musketeers. I was saying these 4.5 speed Ashi could easily chase down the Falconet and Musketeers from Tabin. Remember, these Musketeers are still H2. He does not have the veteran upgrade on them yet. Uh, 2 Falconets, 5 Lancers, 4 Lancers. So Spain is quite all in, just has 25 villager economy, while Japan on 34 villagers and 170 shrine pop. Tabin has to be really careful here. Even a TC fire could snipe off this Falconet. Oh, which it does. See, one Falconet is much less scary than 2 Falconets. I know it sounds very an obvious thing to say, but you can just dive right in and snipe one Falconet. But when there are two of them, it becomes much harder to take good trades. Look at these Ashigarus, so many of them are still on so low HP. But remember, 28 attack boosted by the Daimyo, 170 HP versus these just regular musketeers from Tabin. Now even sending the Ashigaru attack here. This is a tense game. This is a tense game. Will Tabin be able to do enough damage and generate the experience to fuel his big shipments? Because he is behind an eco, he has to make this push work. He has to do more damage with the Falconets. He did get some decent trades. Now finally queuing the skirmishers, using his the H3 counter units to Ashigaru. So what is Izad doing? Is Izad adding Cav? No, Izad 32 attack on those musketeers. These Ashigaru are even better than any veteran musketeers that Tabin could have. But another good Falk volley, and the lancers going, and the skirmishers. This might be a good. This is a good fight for Tabin. Looking like a good fight for Tabin. Skirmisher and Ashigaru. But the villager pull comes from Izad to snipe this Falconet. Suddenly the tide has turned. The Falconets have to run back. The 5 club reinforcing. These Ashigaru now cleaning the musketeers. This is not enough skirmishers. And remember, these musketeers outspeed these skirmishers, so they will get trapped. And the club's trying to snare the musketeers, getting 19 XP per kill. The Tory gauge bonus coming in. Izat has cleaned up. The score gap is widening. He has the better eco. He has cleaned up the scary 5 Lancer, 4 Lancer, and 2 Falconet shipment. This is looking pretty good for Izat. This is looking pretty good for Izat. What is Tabin having queue? Uh, Now going to a Skirm Rodolello composition. But again, these Ashigarus kind of, break the counter system. Uh, Usually Skirms could just kite off the musketeers, but these guys outspeed them. It's just a big C move. Yeah, he's at just going pure musketeers in this matchup. Uh, Running out of food soon, so he does have to send the 2 cherry orchard rickshaws soon. Let's look at his marketex. He has the tier 2 food upgrade and the tier 1 all resources upgrade. 160 shrine pop is still pretty healthy. Yeah, he does have like a 15 villager economic lead at this point. Yeah, 8 villagers normal and all the shrines. Tabin now getting the steel traps, going for Skirmrod composition. Has the veteran Rodolero now. But the thing is, this composition has no siege damage. So he cannot really deny this shrines or siege the shrines. And now he's not even making Yumi and Naginatas. This is looking tough. Rodolero just going in. He's at going for a big Ashigaru raid. Oh man, this raid could be brutal. This raid could be brutal. Let's have a look here. Not much going on here. Will Tabin react in time? And did he put musketeers in melee? Okay, not yet, but still. Yup, Tabin calls it. And the GG comes in. And Izad taking the series 3 3-2. Izad was down 2-1 and the reverse sweep has come in. Very well played by Izad, I have to say. Very well played. Showing us that Japan is still a good sub. Despite Tabin's counterpick. Despite Tabin's counterpick. If I may add. Let's have a quick look at the graph. So yeah, he's had sent 5 musketeers after the shrine wagon and had a batch of 5 each. Was able to easily siege down the outpost of Spain. And here Spain had the 2 falconet timing and the 5 lancers. But TC fire, musketeers, just I think this was where Tabin had some very good falconet volleys on the musketeers. But the problem was Izad was just so ahead in eco. He was getting like batches of 8 to 10 musketeers. Had TC Fire and better units, while Tabin has had the strong shipments. But yeah, just couldn't. After he lost his first Falconet to TC Fire and those Musketeers, just couldn't get good trades versus those Musketeers. These beefy Ashigaru Musketeers with 32 attack with a daimyo and a good overall defense by Izad here. But yeah, very well played by both players, and congratulations to Izad on winning this best of five. I mean, it's these are just the group stages, guys. We could have uh, many more games from both these players. But yeah, solid start for Izad here. What a way to start the group stages. We had a decider game in this best of five. I think all five games are pretty good, except maybe for the Brit versus Russia game. All four games are very close. Especially, I think the Germany versus Lakota game was the highlight for me, definitely. But let's have a look at the comments and who got the predictions right. So Robrot went for Izad, huh? Interesting. Do we have any big betters who won? When's the next series? I think we do have some matches being played on Thursday, but I leave that to the ESOC schedulers and admins to, comment on the schedules. Well played, Izad. Well played. That's it from me, guys. Thank you for letting me cast these games. I hope I did justice. I'm not a regular caster for ESOC, but I hope I did these games justice. It was a pleasure to cast these games, and it's almost 4 a.m. now, and I have a job to do in the next 6 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the hay. But yeah, well played. Is someone streaming? Should uh, can someone raid or anything? Because I think my mind is not working. I'll just update the score once. 3-2 to Izad. Again, congratulations. And good night, guys. Thank you. Cheers and good night.